Okay, I know. Fallout 76? That horse has been dead longer than Bethesda's QA department. But slow down there, cowpoke. I'm returning to West Virginia for two reasons. The first being that Bethesda just released its biggest update ever to the game, and the second being that it's the place that I belong. They added human NPCs.
You're not gonna hurt us, are you?
Oh my god, it's so depressing that that's a feature now. It's crazy how quickly Bethesda fell from grace. Seriously, gamers used to worship them, and I was one of them. Gamers are a fickle bunch. One minute we'll praise your work and proclaim you the gods of gaming, then the next, you're a fallen angel, cast down to the depths of gamer hell with GameStop, EA, Activision, and every woman a minority because gamers are fucking awful. Fallout 76 was pretty much the last nail in that coffin. Bethesda took a revered Western RPG and turned it into a grindy online looter shooter. And honestly, I'm alright with that.
Degenerates like you belong on a cross.
I was fine with them cutting out the bullshit and just making it about exploration, combat, and gathering resources. Bethesda clearly doesn't give a shit about making a good RPG. They don't care about perks or branching dialogue.
You wanna try for round 2? Let's go!
What? You fuckers. You fuckers. You motherfucker, I will rain hellfire upon.
If you're a fan of those things, I completely understand your anger at what Bethesda did to Fallout. But to be completely honest, I play Bethesda games for exploration and combat. So, does that mean I actually like Fallout 76?
No!
That game was a fucking mess. It was broken and just not ready to be released. But I do like the concept. The core idea of Fallout 76, I think, works. And Bethesda just released their biggest update ever to the game. Hell, they even put it on Steam, and added it to everyone's Steam library who'd already bought it on their shitty launcher. So that means I no longer have to use Bethesda's launcher to play it. That's great, because honestly, using that thing made me want to give my PC a hot shower. So it looks like Bethesda is trying to start this new decade off on the right foot. Which is good, because they spent the last decade with their left foot planted firmly on the faces of their fans. But is the update actually good? Has Fallout 76 finally reached its potential? Has it reached the dizzying heights of actually being a functional video game, as opposed to some fucked up out-of-season April Fool's joke? Gameplay loops are the foundation upon which games are built. No, not the Mountain Dew flavored breakfast cereal. Gameplay loops, for those of you that don't know, are essentially just what you do in a game. In a good game, these things all support each other. Let's use Fallout 4 as an example. In Fallout 4, the game pushes you to explore. Then, while exploring, you stumble onto enemies, leading to combat. After all the enemies are dead, you loot the area. Then you craft with what you looted. And these items make it easier to explore the wasteland and fight the various things that call that wasteland home. Each part of the loop supports the other parts of it.
It just works.
Exploration naturally leads to combat when you stumble onto enemies. Combat becomes easier as you loot high-level items and craft better ones, and you can explore more high-level areas as your gear improves. Now, where exactly does the story fit into all of this? Oh, that's easy. It doesn't. Dialogue options and factions, which used to be integral to the Fallout franchise, just don't really fit into Fallout 4's core gameplay loop. So Fallout 76 cut this shit out. What's the story? I don't know, fucking find some tapes, I guess.
16 times the detail.
I like this idea. I like Fallout 4's gameplay loop, but dealing with the story was tedious. I never finished Fallout 4's story, but from what I've heard of the ending, I did not miss much. I fucked around in the Commonwealth and had a great time upgrading my weapons with duct tape and oscillating fans. Could Bethesda have tried to actually write an interesting story, with complex characters and morally gray decisions that impact the world in meaningful ways? Yeah, but have they ever actually done that? Bethesda just doesn't do this well. They've never been good at it. In Fallout 3, you either nuke the town or you don't nuke the town. Wow, what a tough decision. Oh geez, Bethesda, I don't know. I mean, on one hand, I could not be a mass-murdering psychopath, but on the other hand, I could provide a nice fireworks show to the people of the wasteland, which would probably cheer them up. Gamers going to Bethesda for an interesting story would be like women coming to me for good sex. The problem isn't that neither Bethesda nor I actually have these things to give. The problem is that you came to us for these things in the first place. You want a good story? Go to Obsidian. You want an orgasm? I don't know, go to this fucking guy. He looks like he lays some mean pipe.
I was just gonna say it. This guy fucks. Am I right? This guy fucks.
Thank you.
Bethesda doesn't write good stories. Bethesda's strength has always been designing game worlds that are interesting to explore. So, in Fallout 76, it seems like they decided to drop the story altogether and just focus on the world design. And honestly, they nailed it. This world is fascinating and beautiful and detailed and huge. I've never been a big RPG guy. Branching dialogue and skill trees have always just sort of lost my interest. I find them tedious. Thanks for watching, Fallout fans. The dislike button is right down there. Have a good day. I mean, I get it. If From Software went out of business and was bought by Activision and they turned Dark Souls into a fucking battle royale, I'd be pissed. They would have sacrificed something amazing and unique in order to make it more palatable to a big crowd of idiots that never appreciated the originals. But the thing with Fallout is, I'm a part of that big crowd of idiots. I just like fucking around in beautiful and interesting worlds. So the foundation of Fallout 76 is good. At least if you enjoyed Fallout 4's core gameplay loop and Bethesda's world design. But it doesn't matter how good your foundation is. If you decide to build an Applebee's on top of it, it's still gonna fucking suck. Fallout 76 was a mess, but you already know this. If you clicked on this video, you were wondering something. You were wondering if Bethesda has spent the past 2 years actually fixing it, or if they'd spent this whole time working on a Skyrim port for the Game Boy Color. Well, the bugs seem mostly gone. It's still glitchy, but that's honestly something I can tolerate. What I can't tolerate is the fact that this game is about as well optimized and efficient as the US government's response to a pandemic. Topical! This game's frame rate is insanely inconsistent. I've tried everything, dropping the shadow quality, the draw distance, locking the frame rate, reinstalling the game, sacrificing a goat to the almighty Todd Howard, hallowed be thy name, but it's just all over the goddamn place. I have an RTX 2070 and a Ryzen 5 2700X processor. I run Doom Eternal at 120 to 144 frames a second, yet Fallout 76 struggles to reach 90 at the best of times, and frequently stutters its way down to 40. I play this game because I want to be immersed in an interesting world, and it is interesting, but it's as immersive as the shallow grave that Bethesda buried their integrity in. This game needs to be optimized. It doesn't need human NPCs. I'm serious, they're really not necessary for this gameplay loop to work. The exploration and combat, however, are fucking awful if the game runs about as well as Windows Vista running on a Commodore 64. Not topical. Don't get me wrong, human NPCs should have been in here from day one. But if the technical problems are resulting in the very core of your game not working, then that's the first thing that needs to be fixed. And yet, Bethesda added human NPCs and dialogue choices to the game before fixing this. Why? Because that's what Fallout fans wanted. But here's the thing, Bethesda, they're already gone, and they're not coming back.
But why? Where did they go?
To the rolling green hills of The Witcher and the farthest stars of the Outer Worlds, where the dialogue choices are aplenty and their decisions have consequences. This isn't their place. They don't belong here.
But what will I do? Without them, I'm nothing.
You're not nothing, Bethesda. You still have me.
Oh, well in that case, could I interest you in the contemporary wood floors in the Atomic Shop?
Shut the fuck up about the Atomic Shop. Fix your game.
You think you want good games?
Yes.
Gamers like to whine and complain, but I know what you are. You're just a bunch of fat, hungry mouths with grubby little hands. You don't want good games. You want Skinner boxes. You want electronic stimulation in the hopes that the sound of leveling up will fill that hole in your heart. So, I'll ask you one more time.
Do you want those contemporary wood floors?
Yes.
There. Now tell me, doesn't that fill the hole in your heart?
Honestly, a little bit, yeah.
It just works.